live. I'm so sorry.
Are we really live?
Yeah.
Well, you're not sorry. You did that on purpose. Welcome to Blockchain Basement. My name's TJ. I was getting ready to start the show, and here we are. We love all of you guys. Welcome in. It's going to be a good show for you guys today. We've got the one and only DZBTC joining us, or maybe his alter ego. I never know. The Druth is on fire. We got BJ Biscuit Jesus running the board. Somebody did request, by the way, that we change this whole set to look like we're in a spaceship, which was not a minor request, I will say. That was a pretty big ask, but I kind of like the idea, so we'll see what happens. And
Wait,
also,
didn't Joe Rogan not use the spaceship set? He had one, remember, for like 2 months.
And he never used it?
Well, they got rid of it. It did look like a spaceship.
Huh.
The big thing with the red lines, you'll see it. It's only in like 10 episodes, and they just redid the whole thing. It was after his whole big, move to Austin, unveiled it. Everyone hated it. Yeah.
People do not like change. Also, Hannah Hughes joining us today, and all of you guys in the chat. Poon78 Div, Multisig Dummy, Inevitable Junkie, Dude Was Mine Say, Razmataz, Paper Planes. In the attic, we've got Captain Daddy, Daniel Spath, Crypto Sub Method, Servando Estrada, Daniel Spath. All of you guys here joining us today. So if you are on the tubes, make sure to smash the like button. Drop a comment if what?
AJ from Backstreet Boys. I only know that because I'm like 40.
Well, we've been having some Backstreet Boys conversations yesterday because we were talking about Nick Carter putting out some of that news of what's going on. And we are going to pick up with that because it does sound like that is confirmed. And that was the other thing. I found his write-up. And that's not up here either. So the show's I'm not exactly organized with my tabs here, but we'll get through this. It's going to be a good show. Because there's some really interesting things that were rumored to be kind of scary about, basically the US government putting pressure on banks not to cooperate with Bitcoin or crypto in general, basically restricting the on-ramps and off-ramps. So we're going to look at a little bit of that. Brian Armstrong came out with a tweet responding to some of it.
Yep.
But first, we do want to touch on some of the stuff that was happening yesterday. I maybe should have made this part of the title and the thumbnail, but we had some cyber attacks going on yesterday. Anybody have issues with Twitter? Oh, I didn't even say. Maybe I did say. Hit the like button if you're on YouTube, so we can get that message out there. We really appreciate you guys. If you haven't subbed or notification bells, we always appreciate that as well. But this tweet from Prepper Crypto, the U.S. was just hit with a mass cyber attack. I said Black Swan event, say maybe April-ish 2024. That's just my random guess. No real logic to that. Just pre-having Black Swan event could be very similar to what we experienced with the pandemic, but. So we had on Down Detector. If you guys don't know, this is a really good website for if you're having issues with services to see if other people are experiencing the same issue. Huge spike in Twitter issues, Instagram issues, Facebook issues, Fox News, TweetDeck, McDonald's, RuneScape, Facebook Messenger, Pokemon Go, Amazon Web Services, even Google having issues because of what appears to be a cyber attack. And we know we've talked about Cyber Polygon on here a decent amount. I think we've got a whole episode coming out on the BitBoy Crypto YouTube channel about it. But Drew, what is your take on what happened yesterday? Just a test or just a coincidence?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely a test in my opinion. How these Pegasus and other systems similar to Pegasus work are they will infiltrate basically phone systems with missed calls or text messages, random numbers that you don't know will be hitting you up. Even if you don't answer the phone, it then gets into access of your contacts, and it's a very silent mover, and essentially spreads its feet and its tentacles into the grid as a whole before actually deploying. That's what the Cyber Polygon practice is all about. So yeah, I don't think that, and I saw a lot of people like, hey, my phone came back on, everything's working, everything's fine. The hounds are at the door, and they're scratching at the door. They're not in yet. But yeah, I did a full inventory on all my stuff last night.
Yeah.
And,
good to do.
Now, just real quick, you said it is a test. It is a test by whom?
So I think this is a test by President Xi and by Putin.
Yeah, I think it's Crink. Yeah.
Crimson Caravan Company said China just mad that we broke their toy, so they're playing with some of their other toys now.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good one.
I saw an article this morning that said the Chinese cyber balloons had technology that could hear conversations. Like it was so good that it could hear people talking.
Yeah.
But I was thinking that's just the cyber attacks, and then the spy balloons, that's kind of ironic.
Yeah. Strange
TikTok
timing.
can
They're
hear
gathering.
our conversations anyway.
Exactly. This device is the best listening device on the planet. We've all got one in our pocket, and to your point,
a bunch of weird.
yeah, everybody's listening all the time. If I don't know if you ever had anybody in your close circle that ever worked in any type of special forces or security or high clearance type jobs. They have rules and laws against like what can and can't be said around your own cell phone. Oh, are you zooming in on my food?
They do want to know what you're eating.
I'm eating chicken salad for everybody who wants to. We also have a new toy here in the studio. We've got a new robot camera that so we can start working on some of these ISOs. It's not pre-programmed yet, but if you want to get close-ups of all these beautiful faces, not just my face, then stay tuned because we're getting better and better technology in here as well. Always trying to make this show better. So we didn't turn it into a spaceship, but we do have a robot camera. So
what if we made it look like the Millennium Falcon in here? That wouldn't be. I don't know.
That would be cool,
right?
Hey, I have a head that's shaped like a gray. So we have that going for us here.
Little color correction. We're there.
BJ is never going to talk again because he's going to be too busy playing with his toy.
I'm just fucking around with this thing so much right now.
Yeah. Is that DZ or Tate out? Yeah, I don't know if we've got Top D or DZ.
Yeah, we're sticking together. Someone's like, hey, you're inspiring me to not wear a hat as often. I just want to say I appreciate that. That's how it works. It all started with Michael Jordan in the 90s, and then, The Rock kind of popularized it again, and then, of course,
Mr.
Top G,
Clean, of course.
Mr. Clean.
Bruce Willis.
Top G inspired me.
Yeah. Bruce Willis, he definitely was one, I think, that really rocked the bald look. Got a lot of people fired up. So we're going to talk a little price action here. Real quick, I will update everybody. I know we're on a slight pullback. I haven't even looked at CoinMarketCap recently. So yeah, down about 1.5% on the day. Let's see if we've got any top dump or graph phantom. A lot of the pumpers pulling back. Optimism.
Do you think part of it is like they're like, wait, the graph isn't an AI token? Sell.
Yeah. Look, it's up 63% for the week. We know Optimism had been up a ton. I think it's just a common pullback when you've got Bitcoin pulling back. It's everything else is gonna. And this is what I tell you guys when Bitcoin moved up just that little bit and everybody was trying to make entries on alts. This is what I want to caution you with. This is if we range like I think we're going to for a lot of this year, this is a very common occurrence where you'll see Bitcoin moves up a couple percent and you start getting all these alts moving pretty well. People want to pile into the alts, and then Bitcoin has literally basically a 1 to 2% pullback, and a lot of these alts can get destroyed if you're not in one of those top pumpers. So just something to be careful of. Don't think you missed it on Optimism. Don't think you missed it on all these coins that you wanted to get into just because they've had a small pump. You'll have plenty of time, I think, to build positions throughout this year. This is why, if you guys didn't, I really want to stress, if you didn't watch the video that we did, I think a week or two ago about timing the market and the Bitcoin cycles, the 4 sections, markup, markdown, accumulation, and bear market. If you haven't seen that video, go back and search this channel. You can search it on YouTube. Just type timing the market. It should come right up, because this year should be a good year for accumulation, not just in the majors, but also in some of the smaller alts as well. So don't think, don't let that FOMO kick in too fast, because I think a lot of people felt that when the price was starting to move. What's up?
Can I double down on that? Let me just say, I am a firm believer in the 4-year cycle as well. And I think a lot of people are saying, hey, and we've said this, it's a slow 2-year grind. You will have opportunities in the future. I kind of want to stress, let's rewind 4 years. 2019, 2020 is that accumulation level. You wanted most of your capital deployed in 2019. However.
Exactly.
You want a little bit on the sides, and then you could have caught that March dip. But, heading into it, there's a longer period of the 3K, the 4K, the 5K, and then it went to 9K pretty quickly. And so you might, this is what my strategy is. I'm going to deploy most of my capital in 23 with a little bit in 24, and then 25 is when I'm looking to take profits.
100%. I'm right there with you. I'm treating 2023 very similar to 2019. That's why I think we'll have a breakout some point this year. That's really a bull trap that will pull back. We saw that in 2019. Basically, it traded really between 6 and 7 for a really long time. It did go down, and I think December 2018, it went as low as 3,200. It moved up. So if you think of 3,200 as like 16.5, then it moved up to about that 6K range, which if you want to think about 22 range would be around there. And it traded really tight between 6 and 7 most of the year, or really, 7 and 10, 6 and 10. And then went up all the way to 14K, which is why a lot of people, and I've got another thing from Satoshi Flipper on here. He's got a very similar idea that we could see a breakup up to that 30K range, which would be similar to what we saw in 2019, where it went up to 14K. But like to DZ's point, 2019 was the time to be accumulating, and you had the entire year to do it. And then really early 2020 wasn't terrible. You started to get movements up, and then, you get a slight, bump or pump and then dip before the halving. And then after the halving is really when it's game time. To his point, you're riding the ride in 2024, and you're trying to take most of your profits late 24, early 25, and then we do it all over again. So, and that's kind of what this article is talking about, at least in the short term. Bitcoin price hits 2-week low amid warning. 22K loss means fresh dip. Stayed lower at the February 9th Wall Street open as the sweep of local lows increased a bet of more serious come down. We've got a tweet here from Face in a minute that we'll look at that kind of shows the same chart. Again, we're making some lower highs or lower lows, however you want to look at it, but clear trend line here. Something feels off about the BTC strength, and it's money flows coming out. That's really what it is. The pair had dipped 22,387 earlier in the day, making lower lows since January 25th. Reinforcement 22.4 is an important zone to watch. I haven't seen Frankie Candles, but you can definitely go check out his channel. He's usually giving you point of control and then the value area low. I would imagine this is making its way back down to the value area low to keep an eye on there. Still important for now, but I don't know, something feels off, and I'm happy to catch up something above January high market rips. So I'm waiting for it to continue to dip a little bit more. To DZ's point, I'm trying to accumulate when it's close to 20K. That's when I'm making those moves. If it goes under, great. If it's 20, 21, I might make a move there depending on the timing, depending on the sentiment. United States equities were marginally higher at the open, while U.S. dollar index saw a come down on the day, dropping back to below the 103 mark. And I think some of this has to do with those rumors I was talking about yesterday about a squeeze from U.S. regulators, U.S. government, on banks and crypto banks, which we're going to follow up on right now. Because we're hearing more about this. Update: Coinbase has been told to wind down their crypto staking to face fines and other more deliberate actions. This is a coordinated multi-agency action. Readers added context. Let me see what this says. Coinbase chief legal officer said the tweet is totally false. Coinbase CEO tweeted that he's hearing rumors, which is, exactly. So they may not have been told this directly, but we do have this tweet from Brian Armstrong saying, we're hearing rumors that the SEC would like us to get rid of staking in the U.S. for retail customers, and I hope that's not the case, as I believe it would be a terrible path for U.S. if that was allowed to happen. Staking is a really important innovation in crypto. It allows users to participate directly in running open crypto networks. Staking brings many positive improvements to the space, including scalability, increased security, and reduced carbon footprints. Staking is not a security. Here's a good primer. So we don't have to read all of this. We need to make sure that new technologies are encouraged to grow in the U.S. and not stifled by lack of clear rules when it comes to financial services and Web3. It's a matter of national security that these capabilities be built out in the U.S. Regulation by enforcement doesn't work. It encourages companies to operate offshore, which is exactly what happened with FTX. Hopefully, we can work together to publish clear rules for the industry and come up with sensible solutions that protect customers while preserving the innovation and national security interests in the U.S., which I agree with this 100%. I was just curious to come to you guys.
Yeah, can I ask a dumb question?
Sure.
Have they specified whether this is CeFi, DeFi, or both? Just because, I'm looking at the Cardano network, for example, and I haven't seen the numbers changing in staking. Now, granted, that would take 2 epochs to actually see that, but is that going to affect something like
no, it's not going to
proof of stake?
No, it's only going to affect centralized exchanges. Right, okay. Basically, that's what they're putting the pressure. They're putting the pressure on exchanges and banks. Basically, the only thing they can really put pressure on. They can't really regulate an open blockchain network, but they can, again, regulate the on-ramps and off-ramps, which for most people in the United States, you're talking, Gemini, Kraken, Coinbase. They can put pressure on those entities to not participate in the networks the way that they're designed. And that's basically what he's saying. We don't want to get rid of staking, but it sounds like they are getting pressured to do so. And he's just pushing back on that, which again, I think that's part of the result of the pullback today, or it could just be naturally what happens. I want to hear from you guys in the chat too. Are you worried about this? Are you scared about this? Does it freak you out? For me, to BJ's point, not as much necessarily because I don't use exchanges for staking or anything like that. I mean, you can stake it in a self-custody way. Exodus wallet is great. We've mentioned it a lot. Trust wallet is great. It's very easy to do. I mean, you can do Cardano on Exodus pretty easily. I don't think, and then Cosmos and a lot of the other ones are on Trust Wallet. But It's an important factor, and it is relevant as we move forward. And I do think this confirms some of the rumors I've been hearing about trying to regulate the on-ramp and off-ramps. Now, I did see something from BNY Mellon that we'll talk about a little bit later. But I mean, what do you guys think? Big deal or just a little noise right now that goes away pretty quick? I mean, yeah, go ahead, Drew.
Well, I don't know. Ethereum was kind of reading my mind. I mean, this is just going to bring more people to DeFi.
Yes, exactly.
This is the teenager syndrome. When you're told you can't have any part in this shiny new toy, people are looking for ways to make money. Obviously, crypto's gained a lot of media attention through the last year. So, and paired with that, inflation. So people are going to be looking for options, and centralized exchanges are not the preference. This is just going to push a lot of people into decentralized, probably staking, lending, trading sites, all that we kind of talk about. I really think that this is going to kind of explode that narrative over the next few years here.
Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about liquid staking here in just a minute because exactly to your point, that's happening already. So
I kind of wish I didn't sell my NFTs I had, the liquid finance ones.
Oh yeah, I mean we'll look at that in just a minute. Which are they? Were they on Cardano or what chain?
Yeah, Cardano.
Yeah.
Or something knots, Aqua knots or something.
Yeah, I dumped them after the whole FTX and then the Alameda connection with Liquid, and I got a little worried, and I was in profit, so I went ahead and took it.
Liquid, the exchange, right?
I believe so.
Yeah,
if I'm correct on that.
No, it was an exchange that was associated with FTX. DZ, any thoughts or
I think the smart players are working around these things anyways, and it kind of makes me think about Yuga Labs and what they did with the ApeCoin staking. They didn't allow it for U.S. residents, and so I think these conversations are being had. I'm not super concerned because to me it's very similar to a dividend. Especially when you're looking at a Cardano style 3%, 5%, 6%, you're not getting really crazy. I was actually talking about this on ATB yesterday. I hope everyone watches that. Make sure you check it out. We are due for a DeFi craze because there's a whole set of, I said the word idiots. Maybe I should just say the word people. There's a whole set of new people who's going to come into the space who thinks that APY with a comma in it is a good thing. Oh my God, 1,400%! Like, dude, this awesome. Is really, really good.
What could go wrong?
What? I'm going
to get rich tomorrow.
Doge, this is the next Doge.
Yeah.
So there's that whole wave of people because we were asking, what is the next wave? What is the next AI? Is it gaming? I think it might be DeFi. I think this kind of works with is the teenage effect. Like, hey, you can't do this, and then people are going to say, yeah, I can't do it, and then they see the comma, and they're like, well, that's why they don't want me to do it. They're trying to stop me from making 10,000%.
Right.
There is after me, they're shutting down the man.
Yeah.
And so that will be a big narrative, and then maybe part of the plan they want a bunch of people to get wrecked, and then be a little bit more favorable to ban any kind of DeFi solutions.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Somebody said you dial that VPN up to 11. Razmataz said FUD to fuel pullback, but nothing beyond that.
I drove to Mexico to stake mine. I follow all local rules and regulations.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, let's go. Somebody else said something else and I just missed it. Oh, somebody was saying that they're seeing the same stuff in the UK, which again, you're going to see kind of coordination between Western nations generally. You know who the allies are in those groups. Probably you see something similar in Australia and some of that kind of stuff. So not necessarily surprising because this is a coordinated effort. That was what Nick Carter was referencing. And I'll have to try. I'll go look for that article here because I did pull it up.
Not Nick Carter, the Backstreet Boys.
Not the back. Yeah, that's why they were talking about Backstreet Boys because that came up.
Do we have a disclaimer?
Yeah, we need to just.
And no, I'm not AJ from Backstreet Boys either.
Yeah, that did come up yesterday. I thought I posted it here. Maybe I just read it and never shared it.
You're gonna keep doing these close-ups of the truth.
All right. Well, yeah, that's okay. I'm done with it. Because what you guys are saying is exactly true. This is pushing people to DeFi, and that's what this next story says. The ETH liquid staking coins soar as Bitcoin retraces towards 22.5K. Again, this is a direct result of these rumors going on that if you're not going to be able to be staking on exchanges, you're going to need other alternatives. Part of staking, for those of you who don't know, you're locking up coins to get a return for basically helping secure and provide consensus on the network. They all work a little bit differently depending on if you're on Ethereum or Cardano or Cosmos. But so if you want to be able to lock those coins up but still have access to those funds, that, in short, in an abbreviated way, that is what liquid staking is. So most altcoins are slightly in the red, aside from apparent exceptions coming in from Ethereum liquid staking assets like Lido, RPL, FXS. The latest price frenzy comes just hours after the CEO Coinbase, Brian Armstrong, addressed concerns regarding potential clampdown from U.S. authorities on staking. Several reps of the ETH liquid staking niche popped up with massive price increases, including Lido, which is up by almost 10%. Most other large cap alts are in the red, while including, who cares? RPL and FXS have also jumped by similar percentages as well. At the same time, ETH is down over 2% in the same time frame. So Polygon is the only exception from top 10 assets with a 3% daily increase. Chainlink is also in the green. So I guess DZZ,
which is weird because Link has a staking thing coming in the near future. So I was surprised when I saw Link, and then I saw people comparing it to the 2019-2020 bull run, where it's like, no, this is the bear market asset. Is this a repeat of that?
That would be interesting. It did perform
I wouldn't mind.
very well in 2019 and just within the bear market last time. Chainlink and BNB were the only two strong pumpers throughout the entire bear market. I remember, people buying it at $12 to $20, and then it just BNB just kept slowly, steadily churning up, and same with Link. So, it is interesting to look at these things. So Bitcoin, but it's Link. They're coming out with something you can stake probably on chain, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. So you'd be able to stake if you can stake it with self-custody. Again, as long as you're doing self-custody staking, on-chain staking, this doesn't really affect you. The only place they can really apply pressure is to exchanges that are, if you think Gemini Earn and, like Coinbase Earn and a lot of these programs. And again, I think there's a lot of fear from retail anyway, based on everything that just happened with Celsius and BlockFi and a lot of these other, staking custodian services. And which I guess, I don't know, kind of makes sense as to why they're putting pressure on these things to not provide these services in the future. It does present a little bit of, not an attack, but really like weakens the dollar in some ways. Like if you can get returns by holding these things, even if it's 3, 5, 7%, 8%, that's better than a U.S. government bond that's giving you 2, 3, 4, 5%, because you've got, not only are you going to get the yield, but you're also going to get the asset increase when the bull market does return. But if you're talking about things like BlockFi, things like Nexo, things like Celsius, things like FTX, things like Genesis that all went under because they were insolvent and they were not managing funds well. They weren't keeping a 1-to-1 reserve as they were. I mean, depends. They all had different terms of services. Some of them straight up told you that they weren't going to be keeping reserves. So, you knew you were taking that risk when you put your funds there. But I think that's really where the regulators are focused. Like, hey, see all these staking things? They all went insolvent. So, like, don't do staking. I think it might be that simple when it comes from the regulators' mindset. They don't really understand the ins and outs of how consensus works, how blockchain works, which hopefully people like Brian Armstrong will. They've got pretty strong influence. They do have the ears of regulators. They do listen when they say you don't want to push industry and economy outside the U.S. and offshore. So hopefully he takes a strong stand on some of this stuff. They start to push positive policy forward. Because I agree with him, we don't need to see everything get pushed off seas and pushed other places, or the U.S. will definitely fall behind because this blockchain stuff isn't going anywhere. Crypto Tony with his daily GitHub development update. We've got Vega Protocol. That's a new appearance up there at number 2. Cardano number 1. Doc Kusama, Decentraland, ICP, Ethereum, Clayton. That kind of comes and goes. Holochain, Chainlink. So there's Chainlink sliding in there on some of these new updates that DZ just mentioned, and then Status. So that's a little bit different than some of the regularly scheduled folks that are there almost every single day. So something to keep an eye on there. I guess I wonder if Vega Protocol has some new updates coming out as well. So interesting. And
Decentraland, I just keep thinking of Apple engineers. I don't know if it's Apple engineers or just someone with a big bag trying to make it seem like it's Apple engineers. But the fact that it's so high is a pretty bullish sign because it's been pretty consistent for the month of February and January.
Right. Ever since that partnership was announced, they have been up, like you said, up in the top 5, really top 5, not even top 10 almost every single day. So that is, I would tend to agree with you on that one. So the primary cryptocurrency, it cracks me up when they say that. Bitcoin experienced enhanced volatility last week with the U.S. Federal Reserve increased interest rates by another 25 basis points. Again, that was very expected. Rather bullish for the asset, which spiked to over 24,000 for the first time since August 2022. So that's where we stand on that. And then I don't know if we need to necessarily read through this whole article because it was what we were just talking about. But I think the next big thing in DeFi, which I tend to think we will see another, I don't know if it's DeFi summer this year or if it's really into next year, but as DeFi again, we're starting to see it grow on Cardano. We're starting to see it grow on some of these other smart contract, Cosmos and Avalanche and some of these other, even Polkadot, other layer zeros, if you want to call them that, layer one smart contract platforms. With the development of stable coins, with the development of different decentralized exchanges, you start to see DeFi applications kick in, and more and more as centralized exchanges are under attack, people are getting more comfortable with DeFi. The product's getting better, the user experience is getting better, and it's feeling, I don't want to call it secure because there's still a lot of bugs and bridges and there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong still, but it's way better and way more secure and way simpler than it was even just
no touch.
Just a year ago.
Where's the zoom in when we needed it?
Yeah, I know. Right? It was just too good a quality in here. So, what you got, Drew?
Well, Multisig Dummy's asking. He's got a friend that's. Can one of you explain the Pi network and the thoughts about it? A friend keeps telling me to buy today.
Go ahead, Drew.
Taco convinced me to download it 2 days ago. I convinced my girl to download it last night.
I've been mining it because of Nick.
What are you doing? I moved the food.
Oh, damn it.
I mean, he had to like preset
You gotta
there.
talk to the director before you
Here,
move the
get a
phone.
couple bites in. I'll speak just for a quick second.
Yeah.
I think the Pi thing is, I do want to answer a couple questions. I know Hannah's feeling gassed up. Vega is a playable character from Street Fighter 2 Turbo. He wears a mask, Wolverine claws. He'll jump around on the chain link fence. But the Pi network, it does seem like it's going to be pretty illiquid.
Were you telling us to buy Chainlink in that?
No, he was connecting a lot of different things.
Yeah, but back to the Pi network. I mean, I was looking at it a little bit now. I just kind of got in the ecosystem 2 days ago. I think Drew probably knows way more than I do about it. It looks like you probably won't be doing anything until phase 3 as far as like monetizing it. So this is a long play. You just kind of want this to kind of blow up. What was the big thing with the mining rigs?
Yeah,
BJ, you're waiting on.
Well, I mean,
helium. I think this is going to be a get out early type of situation.
Yeah, I still haven't gotten that.
I never did either.
We're both in the Syncrobit lawsuit, right?
We fell victim. I fell victim to Voscoin's advertisement back in the last bull run. But Pi, you can mine on your phone, so you can download the app and just mine it, and basically, it's a Stanford developed blockchain that uses the power of your phone's computing power.
Is that Stanford?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So backed by SBF's parents?
Yeah. So they're going to make it. And, I won't be surprised if Clintons come out and support. But basically, I've just been mining it for years, and it runs in the background. Everyone talks about they are going to get your data. They already have your data. Need to repeal the Patriot Act to stop that. But, I've been collecting the coin. Be careful about buying the coin because what's being offered right now is likely synthetic versions of it, just representations of it. You're better off just mining it, letting it run in the background, see where it lands. Yeah, it takes a while to get through KYC. So start the KYC early, and you won't be able to pull it off until you do that. So
here's what I told Kat last night. She said, "Why?" I said, "Look, maybe this is nothing. Maybe this is something. Probably at worst, you're going to get like $20. Realistically, you'll probably get like $200. There's a maybe chance you'll get like $2,000, and then an even smaller chance. Hey, maybe it's like 50. But that's kind of, I'm like, I'll probably make 200. Probably equal odds if it's 2,000 or $20. But I'm kind of, hey, it's free money. Probably, who knows? Not financial advice.
Yeah, I can't imagine it's going to give you $100,000 per month you mine it. But I mean, it like right now. If my KYC, it's pretty close to being done. The coin's trading at like $60 a unit. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, he was doing like cheek swabs and hair follicles, and then he had to get his kids' DNA.
All three of you guys are mining. Are you mining it, BJ?
Yes.
Yeah, so all four, everybody's mining it except for me. Ben, we did a video on it forever ago. We've got a ton of it. It'll be interesting to see. Yeah, there you go, Crypto Tim. There's your mining content. Go download Pi Network. I'm sure they all have.
Use my referral.
Yeah,
code.
they all have referral links.
Use my referral
DZBTC.
code.
Yeah.
No.
Juan Ha,
HH the
I will
kid.
shut this off.
Juan Ha said he's fallen in love. We appreciate the super chat. Not Adam said Drew looks like Ronaldo. I never noticed that. I don't know if I see it. Maybe
I've heard that.
maybe
Which
that
version? The statue version?
That's what I was gonna say. Maybe the brazen statue that
No,
didn't.
Drew's a handsome man.
He is a handsome.
My favorite, obviously derailing this, but in the film
That's what you
festival
do.
years ago, we had, so the guy made that statue and it did not go well. I don't know if you've seen it. We should probably pull up a picture. But the documentary is his redemption arc of remaking it, and it still looked terrible. So it's like this 2-hour film, and then they reveal it again, and you're like, he's still
It's as bad as the statue in. Yeah, you're looking it up. Yeah.
Oh, this is amazing. Hold on.
Yeah, there it is.
This is just. Oh no, this is. Is that really it?
No, that's it. Go up. That's
right,
100%.
that's it.
No, that's the remake.
That's
remake.
the better one.
That's the
Wait.
Yeah.
That's
it's worse than
messed
the
up.
Boston statue that they put together.
Self-custody, say it again.
Yeah.
They apparently keep asking a question and we keep
I think
missing.
I'm being censored. Self-custody, yeah, what is it? What are we looking for? Say it one more time. We'll look for it. While you're putting it in the chat, I do want to give a quick PSA. I just got a text message. And if you guys, I get these literally every day. So I'm not going to click anything. I'm just going to go delete it. But your account has been locked due to suspicious activity. All of your last orders and subscriptions are on hold. And click this link to fix blah, 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 blah. Yeah. They're getting more and more and more prevalent as things go on. This is a very easy way to get hacked or phished. If you ever get a random text message from somebody you don't know, even if somebody you think you do know, and there's a link in it, do not click it. Just delete it, because they know how to. I mean, if, you guys probably already know this, but I feel like it's worth saying again. It is a PSA. We all are in crypto. That we are more likely to be phished than the average user.
Yep.
If you get anything about your Netflix account, if you get anything about a package not being delivered, if you get anything about an AT&T account, especially an AT&T account, do not click it. Or any phone service, Verizon, because that's what they do. They just blast these messages out at mass to things that they know most cell phone holders have. Cash App, Venmo, any of these payment things. There's tons of scams where they say, "Oh, somebody's trying to withdraw $200 from your account unauthorized." Where is it?
He sent a pie referral link.
Oh, biscuit Jesus!
You all had the same opportunity.
Yesterday,
you guys all shill hard, huh?
my wife's bank account was attempted to be hacked yesterday. You know.
Did she click the link?
No, well, they did it without even having clicked the link, but the bank stopped it, thankfully. And then she's been victim to a phone call coming over. Hey, this is yada yada from your bank. And so I'm like sitting there, and if I wasn't sitting in the chair next to her, she was literally pulling her card out to give the numbers up. And I was like, no, hang up the phone right now.
She's not even an octogenarian.
Oh, I don't even.
We don't know what
you're
you're talking about.
Yeah. So, but basically, I just knew it was a scam, and so I took the phone and just laid into
the customer service, not your wife. Okay.
No, and I was like, all right, where's your office located? And he's like, Texas, and I'm like, okay, well, I know you're a scammer because the only offices for this location are yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Stay on the phone. I'm calling my actual bank and the cops on another phone. Hang out with me. The guy freaked out. You know what I mean? Had to stop it. If I wasn't sitting right there and listening to this conversation, the numbers off of her card would have been given up. And major bad things could have happened because she's got a line of credit connected. It was. Yeah.
I had the exact same thing happened with a sister-in-law who thought she was talking to Venmo support, and there's been a $200 transaction coming out of your Venmo account. Do you want to approve this? She's like, no, I don't want to approve it. And they start asking all these questions, and we just need to send this. Just click this link, and it's like, no. Hang up the phone right now. Don't click anything. Don't do anything. Yeah. Somebody else said emails, getting nasty fake emails from what looks like identical to Coinbase with an attachment identical. All those other also nasty
I got a
emails.
Fake bill from Geek Squad like an hour ago.
Yeah.
I was like, pay this invoice now. I was like, I'm not even clicking on that photo.
So you're in a different demographic than I am.
Yeah.
Because I don't get those emails.
Who's that guy
The
on
way
Twitch?
that I like to think about this, though, is like all of those companies are businesses and they have a lot of customers. They're not going to recognize every time somebody has suspicious activity. So, like, if they're contacting you, you should question it. Like, unless you notice something weird, ignore all of that.
Yeah.
If you do notice something weird, call the company. Like, figure out what the customer
exactly.
service
Call them
is.
yourself. Don't let them call you.
What do you think about not Adam? If you're answering a call from a number you don't know, what the F are you doing?
Yeah, I
just
saw that.
stop.
I got scammed for $250,000 last year. I know that's a joke actually because I know who that is.
Kit
but
Booga. Did anyone watch Kit Booga on Twitch? Maybe the Twitch business does.
He does the Indian scammers.
Oh my God. I let it run.
Here's a old lady voice
He
filter.
wastes like months of a singular scammer's time, and then
those are funny.
Oh, dude, like
Justin Williams
spin
was telling us the other day he likes to do that too. Like he was telling us in a meeting yesterday that when he gets those calls, he likes to ask them like 10 U.S. history questions that he doesn't think they'll know the answer. He said, if you get these 10 questions right, I will give you my credit card information. I will give you my bank information. I'll give you everything you're asking for if you can get these questions right. And he just starts rolling through them. And he says they get really frustrated and they're trying to figure it out and they're thinking. And then he'll just make up a BS one at the end if they get too far. Typical Justin Williams.
Kit is literally wasting his camera time right now. I think we should rate him after this.
How many people are live? No, go back to that.
9,000 or 8,500.
Holy crap.
Yeah,
that's insane.
This guy's got content. I love this guy.
Well, that's for the basement viewers there, the Twitch crowd. So,
but stay here and watch us. YouTube. It's a better YouTube than Twitch because like it's a 9-hour process to scam the guy, and just watch like the 20-minute edited thing.
Yeah.
All right, so coming back to this real quick, and then we're going to roll through some other questions and some tweets. DeFi's next big thing is liquid staking. Liquid staking derivatives. So more and more DeFi protocols have begun supporting liquid staking derivatives to offer flexibility to the way to stake and earn. The popularity of liquid staking derivatives, or LSDs, has increased significantly in recent months, resulting in a surge in cash flow in DeFi. LSDs have been exploding in popularity across the Ethereum ecosystem and have the potential to become equally widespread among other layer ones. That's basically what I just said a few minutes ago. LSDs are already playing a significant role in DeFi, making up over 20% of the entire, 20% of the entire TVL across liquid staking protocols. The dominance of Lido alone, currently the largest liquid staking protocol, is over 17%, which is, again, one of the largest ones on Ethereum. So how do LSDs stimulate DeFi activity? Grab the attention of DeFi users, and Ethereum adopted the proof of stake consensus algorithm with replacing mining with staking. ETH holders can now stake their tokens and maintain the network and generate annual yield. However, 2 conditions limit access to staking for regular token holders. The minimum deposit limit of 32 Ether to join block validation battles. Second, the staked ETH remains located on the beacon chain until the Shanghai Ethereum update is completed, and even then, rewards will gradually become available. We've talked about that a decent amount on this. When you move tokens from Ethereum over to ETH2, you cannot withdraw them. Like, that's what they mean by locked until the Shanghai upgrade comes out, which is coming out. They do have a date for that. But even once that upgrade does get implemented, you can't withdraw it all at once. There's going to be a schedule and unlock period because obviously if everybody withdrew all at once, that would be a network problem. And again, so to the people that say like, oh, as soon as the Shanghai update comes in, we're going to see a massive price dump on ETH because everybody's going to withdraw their staked ETH and sell it. It's like, no, they're not.
Right.
They can't. B, they're incentivized to keep doing it because a lot of the people that are providing it are these services like Lido, people like Coinbase that. They're not looking to spend their ETH right now. They're in it for the long haul. They see where it's going. They were probably in from like the Ethereum ICO. So it's probably been one of the best assets they've ever experienced in their entire life. So it'd be like people like me. I'm not going to dump all of my stuff. I'm just going to keep it in there doing its thing. There's no reason to mess with it at all.
Yep.
I love Ethereum for now. And I will say for now on almost any smart contract platform because it does. Oh, what?
It will make sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Liquid staking protocols not only enable fractional deposits for their staking pools, but also offer stakers derivative tokens based on a 1-to-1 ratio in the form of liquid staking derivatives. So, for example, just to put it in simple terms for you guys, DZ's rocking 1,000 ETH, right? He's an ETH whale. He's loaded. He's doing great. He's like, look, I can run this node and I can lock my ETH up. I don't need it. I don't need to spend it anytime soon. I've got 10 ETH. And I'm like, man, I really want to turn my 10 ETH into 11 ETH. I want to get some yield on it, but I don't want to like lock all my funds up. So I'm going to put if you guys know mining, you can think like a mining pool. I'm going to put my 10 ETH with his 500, say that he's put into the ETH2 upgrade. And he's like, all right, I'll give you, I'll wrap it up in a smart contract, a synthetic asset basically, and let you still have access to buy and sell and trade your synthetic ETH, but the real ETH is going to be locked up in my pool. And then if I ever need to withdraw it when the Shanghai update comes out, I can manage it. I maintain it. If you ever want to unlock all of your stuff and get it all back, we'll just settle the smart contract. You get your ETH back, and my ETH never really went into the protocol or into stake 2. He's just using his. And it's really like a liquidity pool or a staking pool or a mining pool, so to speak, on proof of stake networks. So it allows me to still buy, sell, trade with my 10 ETH instead of just like, okay, all my money is now locked up and I just can't do anything in crypto until the upgrade comes out and I can actually withdraw. That's in a layman's term, basically how it works. Oh, well, they do explain how it works, but
Chemistry Bro is saying that's not how LSD works.
Where's he at?
Is that the one you said it unlocks his mind or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where did he say that?
It was a joke. He's like,
talking
LSD
about
doesn't work.
LSD.
It works in my
Oh,
mind.
he's talking about
not beats.
LSD.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
That might be why
Different
the window.
type of LSD.
Is that why
I'm
your
talking about
window
liquid
blew up?
staking derivatives.
It's been a while since I've dabbled, so I wouldn't say I like it.
Didn't
It was fun.
Chemistry Bros like window blew up yesterday?
Oh yeah,
out of
did
the
you ever figure out
apartment.
what happened? What were you? We came to the determination you must be cooking meth in your lab.
I
Well,
was
he
about to
said
say he's
it-
cooking
Windows.
something.
Yeah.
He said it blew inward, so it was negative pressure within the house.
Well, what was he cooking?
That's
I don't know.
Could be connected.
Methamphetamine.
What'd you cook?
What'd you cook?
Poor innocent
Walter?
TJ. Yeah. I've never done LSD, guys, so that joke went right over my head.
It's okay. It's okay.
Most importantly, are we ready?
What?
Is TJ? Okay, TJ's eating good.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
like
getting.
halfway through.
Yeah, I gotta get my protein in.
Oh,
He's eating quick, man.
A getaway driver for bank robbers today. All right, sure, I'll take it. Yeah, I hear a GTA character.
I
and,
loved that edit they did last time. I don't know who
Yeah,
somebody
that
on
was good.
Twitter
That
did
was
it. And I was
real
like,
good.
oh
yeah, I
man.
ended up like retweeting it and stuff.
Yeah, that he did look like a GTA character or whatever. That's a good one. So
who Deezy?
yeah,
Yeah.
With this look.
It was pretty amazing.
Like the David Cross character, works at like the RC car shop. I think they meant that character, one of those.
God, I
see.
hated that mission. Those were hard.
Was that
like-
GTA
Oh my
5?
God.
No,
No,
it
that was
like
one of the early ones.
Three?
It was
Yeah.
the helicopter one that you had to
Who's
do at the
the
construction
crazy
site.
guy?
Yeah, I got to a certain point. I'm not a huge GTA player, but I can't remember which one it was that I played. And I got to a certain point where they start getting really hard. You get stuck on missions, and then I just left and never came back for whatever reason. So, yeah, awesome. We appreciate you watching it live on YouTube. Smash the likes, tell a friend.
If you've ever had LSD, smash that like.
Yeah, exactly. If you've had your mind opened up in new ways, like Steve Jobs says you must do.
Do I look like this guy, BJ? Pull this
What
up.
the?
This,
Morgan
well, I get this all the
just
time.
Hear them talking
Not
about
really.
empathy.
I used to-
Yeah, you definitely look like Trevor.
Dude.
Well, let's
know.
go to Drew. Make a really angry face.
hold
Drew.
on. We're gonna stay here.
No.
Let me set this up. Hold on. This is. Oh God. Where is it?
Can I?
Preset
I don't know if
7.
I can even look like that.
I know.
It'd be
And
tough to pull
We're
off.
gonna even fade into this.
Oh god, it goes too blue when you do that.
Yeah, I've got to set a steady color white balance. 'Cause
I
it's
can't-
basically-
I don't see that at all.
Yeah, I always like get that from people online, and I just don't see any resemblance here. So
Somebody,
I don't know.
okay, so this is interesting, and I don't understand how this works. Bitcoin exchange local Bitcoins is going to close citing market conditions. So I don't understand how a peer-to-peer website that's been around since 2010.
Maybe they don't mean like Bitcoin trading volume. Maybe they just mean like the peer-to-peer volume. The market
Like-
conditions of peer-to-peer trading. I don't know. That's
Yeah.
just kind of my 2 cents.
Could be, or maybe they're under some kind of like pressure for some reason. But yeah, I guess that makes sense. There's a lot less peer-to-peer going on. But my eyes, like, how could it ever cause it to close? Like, if there's 5 people willing to do it, why not just leave the website open? But
yeah,
maybe they're getting some heat or something like that. They've been one of the first, not the first, but one of the early Bitcoin exchanges again, because peer to peer, you can go like, hey, you've got some Bitcoin or you've got some Monero. Like really, if you're buying any privacy tokens, you shouldn't really be buying them from an exchange. You should be buying them in a peer to peer format. That's what a lot of people use things like local Bitcoins for, I believe.
Mhm.
Yeah, they do have privacy coins on there. I've looked at it before. So
Yeah, you meet them in the McDonald's parking lot.
Exactly.
So that's not a Bitcoin dating website.
Well, anything's a Bitcoin dating website if you're meeting up in person. Definitely
Hell yeah.
definitely more than Web3. So, no, I'm just gonna stop there. CryptoFace. This is a tweet from CryptoFace. I tend to agree with. He said, "You were warned about the Bitcoin price. Yes, it will have its days of minor upward movement, but it will only go down further the next. Don't be fooled by others. The delusion, illusion, confusion, persuasion, infusion. Now the 12 hour has been bled into as foretold."
And he's specifically talking about, see that green humping right there? That is what they call the money flow. And that is money is a predictive indicator for money entering the market and money leaving the market. And he saw it on the 4-hour time scale.
Right.
It looked like it was finally heading down after, a long time of just in the red, no good spikes into the green. And then what he's saying is as that 4-hour starts to head down, it will bleed into the 8-hour, then it'll bleed into the 12-hour, and then it'll bleed into the daily. And then it's, probably over for, months or weeks.
yep.
yeah,
Somebody said the new Amigos.
Yeah, I'd say weeks for sure. I mean, Frank was definitely pointing this out on the BitBoy live stream yesterday, that as the money flow is trending down, you're going to see it reflected in the charts. Just like when it was trending up right here, you can see we had when we had money flowing in, we had good price action.
Yep.
And then when the money starts flowing out, obviously it's going to start to descend. You get your lower lows and like again, this is a pretty clear trend on, like DZ said, the 4 hour. It starts to bleed over into the longer time frames, and I do think it could result in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I think we're going to take a decent amount of time to move up to the type. Like again, I think we're going to stay in a really tight range, so we can. Oh, I'm hoping we move back towards 20K. And let's satisfy some of the bears. Maybe even wick down into that. Just below 20K to get that CME gap 100% filled, even though it kind of like half filled. Yeah, hey, there's the bears. They're having a party. They're happy right now, so it's appropriate to share that one. But I do feel like most of the year it's going to stay in that pretty tight region. I've got this.
What does Razzmatazz want? Why are they being chopped liver?
Come on, BJ. What am I chopping?
You just said someone instead of naming them specifically.
Yeah. Yeah. You got it.
Yeah.
People love it when you read their name before their comment. I mean, that is something important. Like this. Carson's Adventure says, own GRT at sold most on this pump. Well, good job. Hopefully you buy back on the retrace.
Were those words?
Yeah, well, the at symbol in the middle there confused me. DZ equals Naib Bukele.
With the backwards hat. Yeah, he is always wearing the backwards cap.
Yeah,
I almost want to get I have one of those hats in my car. Maybe I'll try it out.
See that.
It's like the one
That's
with
the problem
the
is like
thing and
he equals.
Sorry,
go ahead.
Or I was just going to say, yeah, the little crappy hats.
Yeah. Problem, it's kind of like somebody with like a big beard is like, it just becomes a defining feature. Bald and sunglasses, and then you can apply so many different things to what he looks like. Like Brian used to have, he still has a pretty big beard. He used to get people coming up to him all the time saying like, oh, you look just like so-and-so. And then you go look him up and it's like, I literally look nothing like that person. He just has a beard that looks like mine.
And when they shave it, the whole...
Oh, yeah. Don't ever ask
Brian.
What
would Brian look like?
Don't ever ask Brian to shave his face.
What would Brian look like?
Yeah, what does he look, 12?
12, yes. He looks like, Remember when BJ shaved his face?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Can we not talk about that?
Yeah, that was right at the first of the year. He had a wild moment, and...
you guys signed an NDA not to talk about that.
I didn't sign no.
Yeah, you did.
And then Ben was talking as well. He said he is a hideous man without any facial hair. Do not ever let him shave his face. But coming back to crypto for a minute, he said this logic might sound a bit sophomoric, but hear me out. If we get a large time frame move this year, and I think we will, say 30 to 40K, which I tend to agree with. You heard me talking about it earlier in the show. It's going to take approximately 4 to 6 months to construct this move. So kind of like the inverse of what DZ was talking about. It takes time to build out these moves on the chart. You're not just going to just run straight up or drop straight down. You need to clear some certain levels. Like, if you hear Frankie Candles talking about key levels, points of control, golden pocket, fib retracements, all those sorts of things, or fib extensions, we're going to have to get up to 25 and 28, and then we're going to have to, it needs to have some healthy support in that range. And then once it flips above 28, then it can trade in the 30s for a little while before it starts moving up into this range. And then I agree, it's going to take another 5 months to retrace from it. And I believe we're at the beginning stage of it right now. So he's saying he thinks, again, this pullback's pretty healthy. It could start moving up soon after. I'm not... If it's going to take, let's see, if it's going to take 4 to 6 months, we could be, or we could still be a month out. Who knows? We'll see. But I do agree we will see something like this over the course of this year. And again, when we start moving up to a 30K number, everybody's going to be screaming, the bull market's back, all-time high, pile in now, I'm missing it. All the FOMO starts to kick in, and I'm not immune to it. I'll be the same way. I'm like, I hope I got it all in.
28K is support, 29K is support, up only.
Exactly. And then you start thinking like, oh gosh, I didn't get everything in, and at 22, 25, 20.
Hurry, TJ, it's about to be 50.
I know. And I mean, but in your head, it's going to pull back. And so I just want to put this out there now so everybody starts thinking, again, this is just my theory. This is what I think is going to happen. It's based on things I've seen in cycles past and my own personal experience with, Bitcoin and a lot of different altcoins. And the same thing will happen when Bitcoin's making a move up to 30, 35, altcoins are going to be ripping. People are going to be freaking out.
Yep.
Dominance will still probably be pretty strong, but there will be select altcoins because you're going to start to see, again, smart money will start flowing out of stables, which there's a lot more money sitting in the sidelines in stables now than there was in years past. And so again, it'll make a lot of this, it'll whip everybody up into a frenzy. And then right when retail's FOMOing back in near the top, boom, it all starts to correct back down. That's why they call it a bull trap. That's what all the bears were screaming about when we were moving up from 16.5. And again, I don't think that's a bull trap. I think 16, 17, 18 was oversold in my opinion. It was under the previous all-time high. I think 20 to 23 is about right now. And so that's why, again, you have to determine for yourself what's oversold, what's overbought. for the market conditions. We've got all kinds of craziness in the world right now, whether it's macro, whether it's stock market stuff, equity stuff. We've got, they're screaming recession, AI is going to come over and steal all of our jobs, all this different stuff. It all plays a factor into this. So I like to try to take as much in as I can and then make my own decisions. Some people love TA and that influences their decisions a lot. Some people love macro. Some people love on-chain, and you have to decide for yourself what is going to sway you to take action. To me, this is why dollar cost averaging is a really good strategy, but I just like to bring it all in, use my past experience of what I've seen in the market, try to remember when I make mistakes. That's a big one. Like, remember, last time I did this and that happened. I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to be ready for this. And then if something goes differently, I'm not going to be mad at myself for self-correcting a mistake that I made in the past if it turns out to not happen. Like, you have to give yourself some grace, I would say. And as long as you're learning, understanding, adapting, and getting better, and something new happens that you couldn't have accounted for, like, okay, something happened and you missed it. No big deal. But if you keep making the same mistake over and over and over, I don't know what to say. Maybe do something different. Don't be stupid. I don't know. I don't really have a good answer for that. I just try not to do it. And we're all subject to it. And that's why, again, I was starting to feel some of that FOMO on. I think I even told you guys on the show when some of these alts were pumping, and I'm mostly in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and major stuff right now. I haven't really built a lot of strong positions in lower alts. Now that we're on a pullback, I'm looking to start to accumulate some of the other stuff. But I do always end up just buying more Ethereum. So, whatever. This is this kind of comes back to some of the FUD that was out there about, what the government's doing, what they're not doing. Are they tightening on-ramps and off-ramps? And this is just a good sentiment. I think a lot of us kind of feel this way. But I want to encourage you guys to, again, think for yourselves. I will always find a way to buy any coin I want, trade on pretty much any platform I choose, and I will stake whatever I want to stake, and no government will stop me. Get some guts, people, and stand up for yourselves. It's getting a little pathetic at this point, which, again, I tend to agree with this 100%. This movement started as a revolution to exit the banking system, exit regulation. It's a libertarian movement. Well, at least pull us. Oh, are you gonna leave for a second?
No.
Oh, I thought you were going to the pooper. Guys, BJ takes some wild poops at very fast speeds. So we'll be like going live, and he's like, "All right, can I poop real quick?" And yeah, go ahead.
And we had this roof leak, so we have all these buckets. Like every 20 feet, you see another bucket from Lowe's Hardware, and it's just like, is that a BJ bucket? You don't
never know.
Like
don't
you go around the corner.
Just don't drink it. That's all I can say for you guys.
Yeah.
That's the secret to longevity.
It is. Oh, wait, drinking it?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Oh,
not for me.
That's what unbelievers say.
I miss the Bear Grylls memes. Better drink my own piss memes. Some of the real ones will know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
those are great memes.
But I mean, so does anybody? Are we all in alignment on this? Is anybody more like we need to follow the status quo, or is it just like? Because some people say, "Oh, I get this little message that pops up and says I can't do this," and it's like, are you running a VPN? Are you trying to solve any of these problems? Like, or do you just blindly follow any prompt that comes up when you go to any website? Because a lot of this stuff does take effort. It's not just going to fall in your lap, and if you wait until it does, you're probably going to miss the biggest advantage. That was one of the things, and the next question here is going to be kind of on this subject, but one of the things that clicked for me when I very first started getting into crypto, I'm done with this one.
Damn it, Bobby.
Boop. I'm sorry. One of the things that really clicked for me when I first started getting into crypto, there was only, I think at the time, like 2 or 3 coins on Coinbase, maybe a few more, but not very many. And I realized like, oh, if I do the work now to dig and to find all these other projects, like at the time, Cardano wasn't listed anywhere. BNB obviously was only on Binance, or maybe it wasn't even a thing yet, but there was a lot of tokens and projects out there that I said, man, if I do the work now to go get these things before it's easy to do, when it is easy, that's, other people will do it, and that's where I make my money. So I'm making my money by putting the effort in early and going and digging, learning how to use a DEX, learning how to use MetaMask, learning how to use this stuff. So that way, when it does eventually get off of a decentralized exchange onto a centralized exchange where it has millions and millions of users, like, oh, hey, a new coin, I'm going to buy that. It's easy, one click. boom, that's when I'm making my money.
And a form of that still exists today. And I don't think it's like, the Coinbase effect is gone. It's never coming back. I think, the same thing with Binance. And there's a lot of exchanges where you can just buy so many things. It's hard. In his era when he was doing that, he's looking for the number 12 coin. There's a good chance it's going to exist here. Today's era, you're looking for the rank 1,200 coin. Yep. And then that's a lot riskier. And, so I would say that the good opportunity right now is to do what he did. You do a lot of research, but you do research on the airdrops, the upcoming. Do some test net stuff. Do some new emerging L1s, emerging L2s. Play around with new NFT ecosystems. Drew just got some weird SWE NFT that did a 900x, 0.1 SWE to 90 SWE. That's a 900x, folks. Yep. And so the opportunities now are in these test nets. And so you're not going to find, I'm waiting for the next Coinbase coin. Sure, maybe you get a 10% pump, but the 1,000% pumps are gone. Yeah. So now look for free money. There's a lot of free money out there.
Great point. And in that, like he said, the best way to do it is find new ecosystems. Whether it's if you like Cosmos, don't just buy Cosmos. Start interacting with the things on the ecosystem. If you like Cardano, don't just buy Cardano. Start interacting with the other things in the ecosystem. Now, again, there is risk there. You could, don't be putting big money in. I wouldn't say, unless you feel like you're really risky and you're, able to lose it, because there's a lot in new ecosystems. There's a lot of hacks. There's a lot of bridge failures. There's a lot of different things that can happen, but that's where the opportunity is. Where there's risk, there is reward. If you're not willing to risk it for the biscuit, what are you doing here? And on that point, we got a DZ.ETH. What is the best meme coin on Cardano? I feel like being a degen. He tweeted this one out, and basically the same logic applies. Like, look, I'm looking to just grab something. I don't care if it goes to zero. I'm just looking to degen out, and there's a lot of opportunities. Like, that's how hey, people made money with SHIB. People made money with Doge. If you get in early on ecosystems that people are just starting to play with, that's where meme coins can do well. It's something to play with. It's a way to interact with the ecosystem. So
I got two. I'll share them.
Yeah, I was going to ask, which ones do you...
I don't even know if they're on CoinMarketCap. That's how small they are. They might be. Hosky is probably the number one. And then number two is Lobster Coin. And I've checked. I looked at the liquidity. I've looked on MinSwap. I haven't looked at all the Cardano dexes. But yeah, there's a little bit there. There is a little bit of a community there. Both the teams are tweeting regularly. I did see that one, Falcon Coin or something like that.
Is that Bitlord next to him? No, just kidding.
Dude, Charles Hoskinson was hanging out with the Who in Mongolia. Right. Dang,
that's pretty cool.
Anyone doesn't know the Who, it's the, and then HU, it's the best metal band on earth. And he just
I thought you meant,
They're not better than Baby Metal.
No, they are. They will smoke baby metal any day. And Hosky approves of the Who, just so you know.
Hosky's a pretty cool dude.
Yeah.
Like, dude, he's just one of those guys. Like, I hope he gets on Joe Rogan just because
He's so cool, I won't approach him. I've been 5 feet away from him several times, and I've never bothered him for a picture. I've never bothered him like, hey, let me talk to you about what we're doing at BitBoy. I've never done that. He's got a cool, casual vibe. You don't want to bother him.
I have a picture with him from back. I don't know if I can find it on here anymore. From back in the day in 20. He is one time at a conference in Miami. He was just strolling. That's what I used to love. I mean, I'm sure I don't know if it's the same anymore, but that's one of the things I used to love about crypto conferences is he was just walking around like a normal guy, just strolling around, looking at booths just like I was. And I was just like, Charles Hoskinson, like, I'm a huge Cardano fan. Like, can I get a pic? And he's just like, yeah, I'll take a picture
The
with you.
people around him are like super like high strung and stuff. But when he came in,
he was just standing there by himself.
It's kind of still like that in the media zones. I ran up on Tucker Carlson. I ran up on Kevin O'Leary before we were ever on the show. You see Charles walking around back there. So maybe 3 more years though, then there'll have to be like another level. It'll be the media level, then there'll be a VIP level.
Yeah, exactly. Security. No, but this wasn't that long. I think it was
back then. There was no level.
Yeah, it was 2019. I think it was
pissing next to the urinal.
Seriously, it was a conference in Miami. There was probably like 200 people there total. I've walked up. I've talked to Charlie Shrem in person. I've talked to Hoskinson in person. I haven't met Vitalik in person. I've met Charlie Lee in person. I met Bobby Lee in person. Like, just walking around at conferences. So, and again, these are people that are like the beginning of Bitcoin. A lot of they're responsible for a lot. Which is just
real quick, Andre, anyone that could take 5 years.
What was the question?
The force selling of Solana tokens in the FTX bankruptcy proceedings. I'm not saying it will, but it could easily. I'd be surprised if it's under a year.
Draw this out as long as they can.
I'm looking at it's a 1.5 to 3 years.
I mean, that stuff doesn't happen fast.
I mean, Mt. Gox still hasn't happened.
Right,
10 years later.
Right.
So yeah, that's just saying 50 million potentially locked up for 5 years. That's bullish.
Yeah. Urkelson says Charlie Lee sells top. Be like Charlie Lee 100%. He literally nailed the Pico. So he's a creator of Litecoin. For those of you who don't know, he used to be a Bitcoin developer. Just, basically just did a small change to make Litecoin, faster, and more efficient, basically, than Bitcoin at the time. I'm not trying to trigger Maxi. He's not more efficient, but just made the faster transactions and sold all of his Litecoin at the.
You said 3 times. God damn it.
At the Pico top in 2017, never looked back. So congratulations to Charlie Lee.
We love Tom.
Yeah, we love.
He was good.
Me and Tom like to joke around. Sometimes it came off a little mean. I love Tom. Tom's
Like
a great guy.
Though, if you say Litecoin 3 times, that happens.
Right. It always happens in the basement. If you say it too many times, he will appear.
He was on our live this morning. He did some good TA.
I love Tom. He's great. Tom, you need to move to Atlanta and hang out in the basement like all the cool kids.
Yeah,
Come
get
on.
out of your parents'
Rice,
basement and come
Tom,
to our
Blood.
basement.
Just make it happen already.
Come on. It'd be so much better if we could just do it all in person, around the blockchain in person every day like we do this one. And you guys can come on the basement too.
And we got like 5-6 months of straight falling home prices. How long is it going to last? Maybe another 3 months, maybe another 5, but don't try to catch the exact bottom.
Yeah.
Okay, you're not going to take 30 years to pay it off, right? You're waiting for that Litecoin pump in 3 years.
That's
Then
right.
you'll pay it off.
That's right. This was a good question I wanted to hit everybody with because I think it's a good conversation starter, and I just want to hear you guys' stories. What made you, and we'll just go around the room and probably wrap up with this, but what made you start to learn about Bitcoin? Not just ignore it and dismiss it, but what prompted your orange pill journey and really kind of got you to dive in, whether you started sharing it with your friends or not? We'll start with you, Drew.
Oh, okay. I'm not going to get a sense.
So the month before buying it, maybe you knew about it for years at this point.
Yeah. So the start of flu season.
Okay.
Well, I've watched it for years, obviously, but when I decided to dive in, there was in my circle, encrypted communication is super important. And I saw someone that, I was knowledgeable on social media of actually get his life was taken by local authorities in a no-knock raid. And,
oh, wow.
They also hit his wife or his girlfriend at the time who was pregnant. So I saw the danger that it presented to the powers that be that I am not in agreement with.
You said your brother?
No.
Oh.
So seeing them be so adamantly against this technology just for the fact of its communication abilities is what more than orange pilled me. So that's why I'm here.
Wow, that's intense.
Yeah.
And also let us know in the chat. I'm seeing some of the good ones in there. Is that my brother got me into crypto? Freaking Dingbat said I hated the Fed. Occupy Wall Street got me in. But let me know in the chat, or if you're seeing this after, drop a comment and let us know. What got you into Bitcoin to start really investing, learning and then investing. Hannah, what about you?
It's been a long journey. First time I heard about Bitcoin, I was probably like 12 or 13.
Oh, wow.
In the deep corners of YouTube, and I found out about the dark web and how they were using it as a key for.
What were you doing in the deep corners of YouTube at 12 and 13?
I've always been a night owl. I've stayed up until
Wow.
2 a.m. and I used to just be on my iPod 4th generation, on YouTube watching whatever came up. And
oh boy.
What I don't even know. I don't know, but that's
scary.
the first time I heard about it. So I was interested because I was it's untraceable. These people are using it. And then I heard about it again in probably 2016, 2017. I've always paid attention to the people that are the most successful that I deem the most successful, who I respect, what they're interested in. So it was a man that I knew, somebody that I knew's dad, and he was starting to really get involved in crypto and talk about it. So I started researching, asking questions, and then I didn't ever have the capital to really be throwing in, but I was learning. And then in 2021, when the GameStop, when all of that happened, that was 2021. I think that 2021. When all that started to happen, it was my goal for the year to really start learning how to invest, and crypto was the peak of my interest, obviously, because it's more exciting. So I was learning about that, and I threw a little bit into Doge and Bitcoin first.
Nice.
And then I've just been paying attention ever since.
There you go. No, that's great, and that's a really good. Go ahead.
Sorry, the main thing that intrigued me about that was how social media was affecting it so much, because I was seeing Doge on TikTok, kids on TikTok were what was blowing Doge up at that point, and I was okay, so if we can all come together and manipulate it in a way, I don't know. I was I want to be involved.
Yeah, power to the people.
That's cool.
That's right.
I love that. No, and that's great. I mean, that's really, there's a lot of things you said there that I really like. So, I mean, obviously, that's something I used to do a lot too. Pay attention to and this is good advice for anybody. Pay attention to the people that are smarter and more successful than you, whether whatever the metric is that you have for success. Look at people that are doing what you want to do. Look 10 years into your future. Say, hey, that's what I want to be 10 years from now. Emulate that, learn from them, ask questions, see what they're doing. I mean, even if you don't ask questions from them, I highly recommend always having a mentor and somebody that's years ahead of you. Go ahead, DZ.
This is the Bitcoin has the best origin story. I trained jiu-jitsu with Jesse Powell of Kraken in 07. They were Facebook friends, and then he saw him talking about Bitcoin in 09, 2010.
Dude,
that's
awesome.
awesome.
Who said that?
That's awesome. This is the Bitcoin way.
That is amazing.
Wow. That's a pretty good origin story. Yeah, that's like
about as cool as it gets.
That's almost like getting orange pilled by Satoshi himself.
And that sounds like exactly like Jesse, because jiu-jitsu is like a trendy thing in the tech world right now. Of course, he was like 15 years ahead of it.
Exactly. Jesse Powell, founder of Kraken. He's definitely
very awesome guy. Very super about freedom. One of those people that straddles that line very well of, look, I'm trying to fight against the government in any and every way that I can, but I'm trying to do it legally. And I understand the ball's in their court. So this is where I'm wearing the 70s shorts. This is where I'm wearing a jersey. And I'm trying to dunk on Gensler's face. I'm not trying to, snipe from the stands, because that really isn't going to get you anywhere. You got to play their game.
No, good point. Like they have a lot of power. And if you balk at the power that they have, if you want to pretend that they don't have any power, you're not going to get that far. But if you respect the rules of the game and you just try to play it better, that I think that's what it's all about. So, DZ, you were just talking. What is your origin story?
I knew about it real early. It didn't pull the trigger. I was working at ADT, and we had a lot of time because we drove around in a van selling security door to door. And I was on 4chan, and so I remember just seeing memes about the pizza, and just like everyone's like, "You're an idiot if you don't buy this." But I had such a close association of scams with 4chan. I was like, I'm not trusting anything. But what got me to finally pull the trigger, of course, was 2017 price action. I started really getting into it. I started watching Antonopoulos videos, really started educating myself. But then I discovered the halving cycle, and I saw a very early price chart with the halving cycle. And I was like, oh, clearly this is the wrong time to buy. Bitcoin's like 4K right now, But then it went to 8K, then it went to 12K, 16, 20. And the whole time I'm like, God, you idiot. Every time it went up 4K, I'm like, you idiot. And I was just like, look, I'm going to stick to my convention. I'm not buying at 10K. It's not going higher. And so I just kind of waited. I was like, all right, buy closer to the halving. I kind of had it in the back of my head. And then just one random day, I don't remember what triggered it. I think it was like a Google News alert, probably something bad, because this was 2018. It was probably a huge downward on the price action. I was like, you know what? I kind of remember that halving. I was just laying in bed in the morning, and I just downloaded Coinbase, and I remember just hooking up my bank and all that stuff. And I think it was it took a while with the bank. And I think it was a week later, I just put in some money, and then the rest was history. I just slowly started DCAing, and then I got really, really into it as the price started to go up in 2020.
Yeah, that always gets people's attention when the price action starts coming.
It's worth how much now?
The chat's killing me. There's some good stuff in there. Chemistry Bro did want to point out he is in a university lab. It's not like he's cooking up some shady stuff in his basement. Also, he's telling BJ he got his new 3D printer yesterday.
Want to know what he got?
That's on my list of things to do as well. Poon78 Div says DZ learned how to rob houses and then he was saved by Bitcoin. That was a pretty good one. GameStop jogged my memory about crypto. Love the people paying at institutions. Tyler, where did he go? Said, I think I bought a couple hundred worth of Bitcoin before I was truly into crypto. This was probably between 2012 and 2014. I don't remember where I bought it though. How can I find it? LMAO. Yeah. So, hey, he's one of those guys of one of those Bitcoin on hard drive in a dump somewhere that will never be recovered. Just lost Bitcoin, which is great for the rest of us.
Their seed phrase.
What's that?
Only they wrote down their seed phrase.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is nobody knew what the heck they were doing back then. And it wasn't worth anything. It was like, I don't care if I lose it.
Yeah, hey, we're dumping.
Hey, the price is dumping right now.
Yeah, we're dumping.
Pull up
I'm gonna tell my sweet story, but Bitcoin takes priority.
No. I was coming to you next, BJ. I want to hear your story. He's pulling it up right now. So, BJ, what is your Bitcoin origin story? What first got you into Bitcoin?
We'll talk about this crap coin. Nobody cares about.
The drama over here.
Yeah, go ahead, BJ. Quit whining.
So I never had a PC as a kid, and then probably around 2013, I remember seeing it on the sides on websites, just the little really crappy ads. It was buy Bitcoin. But in 2013, I worked a job for selling miniature fold-up motorcycles for a DD company. And it was basically me working alone in a warehouse, and I downloaded Magic Online, and then saw a lot of the ways that you could trade. I know I've talked about this before, but that you could trade the cards was with Bitcoin. And then I remember trying to get into it, and then just I couldn't figure it out because I'm dumb. And then sometime around 2017, the gas station I would go to, there was a Bitcoin ATM, and you'd always see these guys like dropping in a shit ton of money into it. And I kind of tried to talk to them. None of them wanted me to, because they were obviously doing special stuff with that money.
Right. They didn't want to talk to anybody while they were doing that. Yeah.
Not at all. And then, of course, me being the awkward token white guy, I definitely was still asking them, but it didn't go well. And then somehow I found out about Cardano, and then went back to that ATM, put the money into it, had to set up a wallet on my phone, which hilariously enough, I found that wallet not too long ago, but I did end up clearing it out. But at least I still had the seed phrase, almost 5 years later. Wow. But then I got on Bittrex, bought Cardano, and then held that for a while, told everybody about Cardano, and never bought more. But I got my first 10,000, I think, for $100.
Dang, so you've been in Cardano basically from the beginning. Yeah, I knew that.
But I messed up. Like, I didn't
could have got more.
buying.
Yeah. That's awesome. That was where I got lucky, is I kept buying all the way down and all through 2019. To DZ's point, I did see, and like I said, you can literally be anybody. Somebody else said, "Is that DZ or is that Pete Davidson?" And it does. You don't look like, I'm not going to do that to you. You don't look like Pete Davidson, but he was wearing a white hoodie and sunglasses at the Pro Bowl, and I can see it.
Someone said the glasses add 20 years. I think it's the removal of the hat that adds 20 years. I don't know. I think the glasses, if anything, help a little. And we were talking about facial hair. Yeah, I might not look as young as Brian, but I reduce a few years as well. Yeah, I'm 38. I don't need to be trying to look in 31 or something.
Well, yeah, we need facial hair. Facial hair is kind of like makeup for guys, so we're not all as beautiful as Drew. I mean, Drew gets away with very minimal facial hair, but
I stick with the Abe, like a thin Abe look.
Actually,
thin
you
Abe.
know what?
He is tall and scrapper.
You know what got me facial hair? Was getting so obsessed with crypto and Bitcoin that I just stopped shaving. And I was just like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to keep it. And then I put a little poll out, and I was like, yeah, just keep it. But I literally just got obsessive with Bitcoin, with crypto, all that kind of stuff into 2018.
I do look like the guy in the ADT commercial.
That's funny. No, I first got into Bitcoin 2017. It was actually my dad and my brother that came to me with it. My brother is a big, he's in that prepper crowd. He's kind of anti-government. He was a big gold and silver guy, trying to, he's always trying to get me to buy precious metals, and was saying, hey, he found it first because somebody told him, hey, there's this new digital gold thing called Bitcoin. And he's like, I don't know about that. It sounds like a scam. So he brought it to my dad, who was in, he was building virtual workstations and stuff, kind of in the, IT computer networking space. Had always been in networking computers. So he started looking at the technology. He found Ethereum, got really excited about that. He's like, no, this stuff sounds pretty legitimate. This is not just a, fly by night kind of crypto scam or money scam or whatever that is. So they both bought some. And then it was actually my dad who sat me down. He's like, you need to watch this Banging on Bitcoin documentary. I think, it'd be intriguing to you, blah, blah, blah. So I did. And then once I did that, I started looking at the numbers, and it was pretty much game over for me. I realized this is the internet revolution for my lifetime. Like, I missed the big run up in the internet because I was too young. I wasn't old enough to invest. I was just a kid. I wasn't going to miss that opportunity now. I could clearly see where it was going. Now, again, I was a little over optimistic on the timeline, which most people are when they're first learning about this stuff. They think, I understand what's going to happen. I understand where this is going to go. It's going to be here. And, again, your FOMO kicks in. I thought by this time, we would all be doing all this crazy stuff on the blockchain. You don't understand the technological developments and how long it takes to build all this infrastructure out, which, again, we were talking about that a couple days ago. But yeah, give it another 10 years and a lot of this stuff will be happening. And some people are like, 10 years, that's so long. And it's like, not really over the course of a lifetime. If you think about the internet, the progress it's made, like social media, the progress it's made, like we're really still at the beginning of the social media and, in the long arc of thing. And I think blockchain is what's going to take internet to the next level, social media to the next level, renewable energy to the next level, AI to the next level, all these different, and I kind of had that brain exploding moment back then. Again, I was thinking it was going to happen in 3 or 4 years, not 10 or 15 years, but that's what you live and you learn, and that's why
how, DZ is doing his Greta Thunberg impression right now.
You
look like Greta.
No,
No. Oh,
All right,
that's
so let's go. Let's look at the Bitcoin price real quick. Where are we at with that?
Let's look at this.
Drew's computer.
Okay, fine. I'll push the button.
Oh, dang. So what is that number at?
This
Gina?
is at 22,048 right now, and
It looks worse than it. I mean, it's $500 drop, which is a lot.
Yeah, well,
but,
you're on the
I mean,
minute
that's-
chart.
yeah, let's go to 30
Go to the
minute.
hourly. That gives
Oh, you want an hour?
It's still pretty bad.
Still a pretty big drop. Dang.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, he's breaking stuff.
Yeah, I
over there.
just broke it. Jesus.
Right.
Oh, great.
Frank.
Here we go.
Right. We need the TA guys in here.
There
But
it is.
Tony or something.
yeah, I'm sure.
Jeez.
I wonder if Frank, if you guys want to watch live TA, make sure to check out Frankie Candles. He goes live for 5:45 every single day. Does 2 hours of TA. We'll give you a lot of really good sauce on what to expect. Again, we called this kind of not too long ago, like we were saying, when the money flow is going out, we're starting to lose key levels.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm hoping we go all the way down to close to 20. What is today? Thursday. Probably lose some momentum over the weekend. It depends on what. Like a lot of times, you can tell based on what happens on the weekend, kind of the vibe for the upcoming week. If we hold over this weekend below some of these levels, I expect us to continue to kind of fall off next week. Again, if we can test that 20 and then start to move back up, that would be great.
Yeah.
We might, again, bounce here in range a little bit. Again, I'm not a short-term trader as much. Yeah, Urkelson says going to fill that CME gap. That's what I'm hoping for. And I think there's a lot of people hoping for that. So if we get close to that 20 range, I think there's going to be a lot of buy orders getting put in at that level. And this is what a little bit of good old governmental FUD will do to the price. You know, and
Hey,
you know,
DZ,
I'm
you
here
just
for it.
Mean mug the camera real quickly.
Mean mug it.
Same thing.
Oh.
Same energy.
You're stealing my future.
So,
Oh, my
yeah,
God.
Jack Keen says, thank you, Crypto Face. Yeah,
Yeah.
another great TA guy and also very just entertaining character. So he puts his money where his mouth is, and he's got a big mouth, you know. So he's fun to watch, and like I said, he's very knowledgeable, knows how to trade. You'll definitely learn a lot trading or watching him trade and listening to his analysis. Again, trading isn't about being right all the time. It's about being right more than you're wrong and winning big and losing small. Risk management, something Frank will teach you a lot about. If you want to take big wins and small losses, and you want to win more than 50% of the time, that's pretty much all you have to do. That's all we have time for today. Big shout out to all you guys in the chat. Jen Jones, Razmataz, Poon78 Div, Casino Doggy, Vlonster, Razmataz, Darth Guru, Health on Spire, Mama Crypto, Casino Doggy, Bud Lightyear. We've got Jack Keen, Freaky Dingbat, MMB, Jack Keen again, Two Bros Mining, Linking with Naz, Akeem Dream. Up there now, everybody chats. Multi-sig Dummy, Pod Tech, Big Handstand, Quarrel Lift.
There's a lot of people in here.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. But we love all of you guys. Smash the likes on the way out. Leave us a comment for stuff you'd like and any questions you have in the future. Also, comment your origin stories. I will be reading those tomorrow. I love reading you guys' comments. So we love you all. Subscribe, turn on that notification bell.
And go Yellow Joel.
And DCA.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah,
DCA.
have fun with Hit Network Gaming.